Okay, in this session we'll do the fireworks where we will be using per point emission rates, and we'll be using emitter, emit from object, and several fields to create this effect. So I would start with an emitter, preferably a volume emitter. So I'll just go to the emitter options, create emitter, and I would choose the volume emitter here and just create the emitter there, like that. So I will increase my range, sliders range. So I'll keep it somewhere 500 particles, sorry, 500 frames, and I just play it. And when I play, you see the particles are emitting from the emitter. I select the particles, and in particles I will change the particle render type to spheres, and I put the radius of 0.2 or 0.15 maybe, and also I just give it a color, and I'll give a color red here. So I get the particles emitting from the emitter, and you could see clearly the particles. Now I just want to select the emitter here and choose the direction, not direction, sorry. I'll just go down to the volume speed attributes, and there's an option called away from center, by which the particles are moving away from the center. So I make this to 0 and put it along axis. That makes the particles to move in one single direction because of that option. I put a little bit value in the away from center so that slightly it will spread sidewards. Slight spread you could see. Yeah. You can also increase the speed of these particles going up that way. I put the spread also, and then you get a little bit more spread like that. So I'll just give simple names here. I'll just put this rocket emitter for the emitter and call this as rocket particle. Okay, so I'm getting the particles moving up in the air like that. I go to the emitter and still increase the speed to maybe 10 and then see how fast it's moving. It's good. Now just go to the rate and put rate to 1. So per every second you get one particle going up like that. Okay, so you're seeing that particles here. I just played once again, you see the particles going that way. Okay, now I select the particle and I just go to emit from the object, and I choose the omni emitter and hit create, and when I play it, you see that trail of particles coming out from that emitter. So let's call this as trail emitter. Just a minute, I delete both of them. I select these particles. I've chosen nucleus particles. I'll create use normal particles here. I did a mistake, so it is omni emitter. Nucleus is not needed. So I hit play and you see the particles emitting like that. So let's name this emitter as trail emitter, and I'll name this as trail particle. So this rocket is the source of emission for these particles here. So the rocket color is red. Let's give this trail particles also a color. So I go to the color and give it a color. I'll give yellow color. So the trails are in yellow color. Okay. So I select rocket particle again and emit from the object, and I'm going to create one more emitter. Okay. And I got a second emitter now, and I'm going to call this as blast emitter, and this one as blast particle. Okay. So you see some more particles which are in gray. I'll change the particles color to blue, maybe cyan. You see the two color particles. So the same red particle is emitting one yellow and one cyan color. So you get that. Now I just want that nice fireworks to be happening here. It goes up into the air and then it blasts, and then you get a blast of particles there. So I need to control everything here. So the first thing is if I select the rocket particle and if I get into the per particle array attributes, you have some set of attributes here. But if I go to the n particles and use this option here, which is called per point emission rates, when I click that, you get these two new attributes here, which is blast emitter rate pp, trail emitter rate pp. It means this is rocket particle, which is the red color. This particle is emitting the trails and the blast particles. So this particle should emit how many particles of blast particles and trail particles, and I can control here by expression or ramp or by component editor. So I can use any one of them. Okay. So for the trail, I'll go and create an expression. So just right click in the trail emitter, create expression, and here copy this, drag with middle mouse, it comes to the expression area, and here I'll put random range between 70 to 120. I just want that natural randomness. So for rocket particle, trail emitter rate pp's emission rate is what I'm controlling with an expression. Now when I play it again, okay, you are getting the yellow color particles, which are the trail particles. You are not getting the cyan particles, which are the blast particles, because I need to tell the rate here. As there is no expression or nothing input given, it is not emitting anything there. But for the trail, I've written an expression here, random, and in brackets 70, 120, and expression with the semicolon. And what happens is when the particle, there is one particle here, there's one particle here, and there are another particle here. So every particle may emit particles whose rate can anywhere between 70 to 120. Okay, so that's one thing. Now if I just play it, you see the particles keep moving, and there's no end for that, because the rocket particles lifespan is live forever, so these particles don't die. So I just change this to random range, and set the lifespan to 2 seconds with a random value of 1. So what happens is when the particle goes up into the air, after a certain time it dies there. You see the particle dies. So if you feel that it's not going too much height, then you can increase the lifespan here, and then you see the particles go little bit more further and die. So it dies there, it dies there, it dies there. That's good. So you can put a lifespan random range of 1.5, and yeah, this is what I want. Now what we do is we got the trail emitter, which is the emitter emitting these yellow color particles. In this you got speed. Because of the speed, the thickness of the trail is too much. But if I put the speed to 0, then the trail would be single line like that. So I just put this speed to 0.25 and speed random to 0.15. So I get very thin line there, like that. That should be good. I select the rocket particle and I'll apply a turbulence field here. I'm applying the field for this red color particle. So I'll switch the attenuation value to 0 and play it. I just want the rockets going little bit in a wave shape. Yeah, you see that little bit turn going on. I can increase the magnitude for more effect of the turbulence like that. It looks more organic when we do that. And here in phase Y, I just write an expression so that the wave can be experienced. So I'll just write equals to time, T-I-M-E. So this is a other way to write expression in the attribute editor. Okay, so I've got the turbulence given to the rocket particle. So I can, for the clarity, I can name this as rocket turbulence field. Now I select the trail particles and then apply turbulence field here, and then I hit play, and then you get the trail also getting that nice and the trail particles which I've got right now, I'll put their lifespan to 1 second with a random of 0.5. Like that. So if I see from this point, you can really experience that. Okay, so I've got the particles emitting the nice trails, but how about the blast when it goes up into the air? So I've got blast emitter. Here I'm going to create a ramp. Okay, so a ramp is connected to the particles edge, input V of the ramp, and it is creating a new ramp. So I'll explain what that actually means once I create it. So I've got a ramp here. This ramp has got U direction here and got V direction here. So when the red particle takes its birth, the rate of the particle is 1, and when it is about to die, the rate is 0. So it will emit one particle here, the blue particle, and you see that blue particle 1. Now it is going to die, it doesn't emit. But in blast, what happens is, in blast we now when the red particle goes up into the air and when it is about to die, it should emit particles black no particles, white particles. So it should emit the particles when it is about to die there. So it goes up into there, and lastly it emits one particle there. But one particle, how far is it sufficient? So what I do is I select the rocket particle where I've created the ramp. When I right click, you get a different menu here. So we have the ramp where we edit it, and we have this thing called array mapper. When I open that option, you will have minimum value 0, maximum value 1. It means we have created a ramp. The black color represents 0, the white color represents 1. And you can tell in edit array mapper, you can tell white color is not 1, white color is maybe 1000. So when I hit play, and then when it goes up into the air, it emits 1000 particles when it is about to die, like that. Like that. So that's one thing. So once I create this, the particles which are going up in the air, and when they blast, they are moving, and they are not dying. So I need to set the lifespan for this also, and then when I hit play, they die. So it's very quickly dying. So I increase this to 1.5 there, and then like that. So you want this circle should be a little bit more bigger before it dies. Just you need to increase the speed and speed random so that the effect looks little organic, like that. That's more natural. So the rocket particle which is going up in the air, I don't want it to be visible. So I change the particle type to point, and I make the point size to 1. And I've got the trail particle, and trail particle I change it to streak, okay, and I would choose the line width to 1. It's 1 only. So the trails would be very thin, and don't get confused about whether it's twinkling or not. It's streak, so it's not really twinkling, but fair enough. So once I've got this, I select the trail emitter expression. I want more particles here, so I put this to 150 and this to 500, and I emit more particles from the trail, more denser particles. Okay, so I've got these particles. I just want them to be in a mix of colors there. So what I do is I will go to the color section of the trail particle, add per particle attribute, and here we got RGB PP. So I'm going to right click here and create a ramp with particles edge, which is you get so when these particles are emitted, you see the red color in the starting, and then you see the green color, then you see the blue color in the ending. Okay, why is it happening? Because we have created a ramp and linked with the particle's edge. So when the particle takes its birth, it is in red color, which is near to the rocket, and when it moves away, its edge is increasing, it's turning to green color, and then slowly it's taking the blue color there. So the other way is, I will break the connection. Other way is, I would like to go to the input way. Instead of particles edge, I choose RGB VPP. Okay, and maybe I can use that ramp which is created if you don't really want to waste it. Now what happens is, it will create a ramp, and also it will create a attribute which is RGB VPP. So whatever we tell in RGB VPP, and that is controlling the color in the ramp here. So RGB VPP means you got this side the U direction, and this side we got the V direction. In the V direction, whatever the value you take, this is 0, this is 0 0.5, and this is 1. So whatever the value you take, okay, that value will be given to the particle. So I'll just give a glimpse of it. I just go to the RGB VPP and tell the value for it. So I'll tell is equals to 0 0.5. When I tell that, in ramp at 0 0.5, whatever the color is there, that will be applied to the particle, which I can show you. The particles will now be in the green color. So I want random colors here. So I just go here to the expression. Instead of RGB VPP 0 0.5, I'll take a random range between 0 to 1. So in this particular expression, it takes any of these colors in the ramp. So I prefer to take white color, and then I take the blue color, then I take the dark blue color. I keep the share of the white lesser. Now when I play, the particles are colored randomly, one with white color, one with the light blue, and one with the dark blue. So you get that thing here, like that. Very similarly, you can give colors to the blast here. So I select the blast, change this to streak, and then increase the tail size to 2, and then see similar colors has to be taken. So go to the color section, add per particle, create RGB VPP, and then, or maybe I could have used a similar ramp there, but I'll take some this one. I take the white, this one, and I write an expression here for this RGB VPP is equals to random range 0 to 1. So when I play it, we get the trails and the blast particles with the colors which we have taken, like that. So the turbulence for the second one, which we have given for the trail, in that I will choose the frequency high, magnitude low, because it's too much wavy, very slight trail.